And Harold Wells not with us this morning, City Council President. So next in line, Joseph Cannon. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning.
How's them kids?
Oh, they are awake and getting ready, I hope, right now.
Getting ready to head out. You still fishing?
Tanner and I went for a little while this weekend and just out at the pond, caught a couple little bass.
You almost fish all the time. All right, City Councilman, I got this morning out of the Decatur Daily last night. Looks like y'all didn't have a long meeting last night. What happened?
3 items.
It was a short agenda, but we made the most of it. It's you can't start the meeting until 5:30 because that's what time we publicly announced it, and so we were done with our work session about 30 minutes early. But Harold Wells he went to his book of questions, and I got to applaud the mayor and the department heads. They answered the rapid fire pretty well, and we got a lot of just backlog questions that we got a lot of them answered.
I got to give a shout out to Wayne Harper up here that I made a mistake that day. Really, I mean, when y'all were up here, it was you, Chris, and Wayne for our Christmas show, and I said, well, y'all are rookies. And after it was over, Wayne said, well, I'm a rookie too, city councilman. Well, I don't think of Wayne anyway because he was police chief for so long. Well, yeah, he is a rookie city councilman in there.
Yeah, we traveled through the CMO credits to learn more about it. We did a lot of that together, and it's so weird. Because I looked at him when I was a reserve officer. Yeah. He's the chief, and it's weird like being a colleague like that now.
All right, what did y'all do last night?
Well, we made a little change to the personnel policy. It was actually kind of aligning it with the way it was. Firefighters having a probation period of a half a year, and then the police officers having it for a year. Went ahead and finished up on some of the abatements, the public nuisance that we've declared, and we're pretty proud of that. We're cleaning up the city just as we can, and really that. And then we went ahead and approved as an emergency for the fire station to get that bidded out, and just so we can hurry up and get that up and going. The guys, they're staying down the road, the firefighters down at the EMA, but I know they want to get back home. And I want to get back.
Oh, you're talking about that water pipe that burst last week during the cold. Well, you got to realize last week this time it was below 10 degrees.
It was cold.
Today's going to be almost 60. Tomorrow back in the 30s, but I think the cold weather's out of here. What are you guys briefed each week about the construction of the new city hall?
Well, the biggest brief I really get is I drive by and I look at it.
You look at it. We did that the other day too.
And I'm not a construction guy, so I look at all the bricks.
You just drive by and look at it.
All right, speaking of new stuff, we talked about this earlier to Athens officials.
He's going to add something to
that. Go ahead.
Well, we do. The mayor and James Rich, they also, and then Earl Glaze, who's over it. When you ask, you find out about it, and pretty much. I mean, they're not going to get real technical to us, but they might try, but. We know that it's on schedule.
So about a year away.
Yeah, but I guess you could get 2 weeks. I may say that from
talking about construction. Athens High School is planning a new high school. What place does the city council play in that?
Well, that's going to be a joint venture, I imagine. I mean, it's I love the back of the back picture even more. But it's going to be a big purchase. I mean, we're going to have to really, I guess, work it out how we're going to move forward and do it. The city will be, I mean, I imagine it'll go through the city of getting the bond issuing to do it. So, but it's something that's got to be done at some point. It really does. And man, I love that school and the way they showed it. It'll change. They'll rev that design, I'm sure, a bunch. But
yeah, they said they're
just being real proactive on just the design. I
think Clements is getting a new high school too, is what I saw on there too. So basically, what has been the biggest challenge for you being probably the youngest city council member they've ever had?
And brand new to this.
Probably Everett Osborne told me a long time ago when I worked for him. He said that I needed to learn that not everybody's going to like you. And,
no.
Are you learning the hard way?
And I mean, and that it is. My skin has gotten thicker, and I mean, because you want everybody to like you, but
it's impossible, Joe.
Oh, it is.
I never will forget when Johnny
Crutcher
was up here a couple of years ago. Johnny used to be the city council president. And somebody else had just got elected.
His advice was don't answer your phone.
They said, well, what advice do you? He said, don't answer your phone. Well, that's the part of you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to answer your phone.
And that stays in my mind when I see my answering machine and I hadn't talked to somebody yet and I think about what he said. I'm like, I hope they don't think I'm not.
You hate calling people. I mean, you know, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people are going to be irate about something that didn't happen.
It's just giving him time to get back to you, because he will.
And a lot of times it's something that's not really a councilman's control. I mean, and I hate that, because I don't want to go stepping on everybody else's toes that it should go to. A lot of things I need to just send on to the mayor and let him trickle it back down. And I hate that, because I want to just, you know, I just want to solve the problem right then, and I've learned don't do that. I mean, it's
not your job for one, and two, you can't fix everything.
Let me ask you about a subject that you brought up months ago, and they gave you full credit for it. We're talking about Sunday alcohol sales. Rogersville, you can buy alcohol over there 24/6. I mean, at Warren's BP, it's 24 hours a day,
6 days.
Liquor and beer, except on Sunday. But a minute after, on midnight, they can sell again. What do you see happening eventually? Nobody ever thought Athens would go wet to start with. Well, what do you see eventually happening as we progress here over the next several years with Athens?
I don't really know if we will ever, you know, get rid of if we'll have some sales or not. But I do see in the next few years, I'd like to see where we have a vote, not the council. I'd like to see where just the city votes. I mean, it's too tight of an issue. I mean, just.
So is that something that could go before a citywide?
It could. We'd have to approve to we'd have to pretty much vote to get permission from the state representatives to vote back here again, and then we could actually get permission to vote as a council, or we could get permission to put it out on a referendum and let the city vote. And I think it's a big deal. That there's people that go both ways on it, and it's part of it. You look at it, it's really neat. We're that town that still has that, and I mean, and I grew up in a town that was totally dry, so I'm not fully complaining. But at the same time, there's a lot of business owners that look at the competition that they're competing against towns that have, I mean, next door that can sell alcohol.
Well, here's Rogersville. They barely voted. They missed it. 2 votes the first time, and then came back and won it by 1, and now they're blowing and going over there.
Sundays. You know, something very surprising Jamie read to me over the weekend was, if you have dry counties, I don't know about our small towns, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but in towns where it is dry, meth is up.
Yeah, that's across the nation. We'll talk about that when we get a chance later this week.
Which is
I don't know why,
shocking.
but that's, you know. All right, what else do we need to know? Anything you ain't supposed to tell me, but you're willing to share?
I think there's 3 Home Depots coming.
I have heard there's one, but ain't nobody be concrete about that. All right, Josie, you're doing a great job on the city. Thanks for coming up this morning and filling in, and good to see you, and roll tide.
And happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah.
You had a birthday.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't get you anything, but happy birthday.
That's okay.
We'll take a break, come back just a little bit. Y'all hang on. Hey, I'll do just a quick bit of news, then I want to go to something. I told you the other day when Dusty was up here, we are the newest members down at Lindsay Lane Baptist Church.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Thank everybody for accepting us down there. I want to go to some video down that way in just a second. But hey, Joseph, baby, this is something we need to get. Huntsville is getting a trampoline park. Have y'all heard about that?
That sounds like injury.
Huntsville is getting a trampoline park where you can get up there and dunk basketballs and all that stuff. Got this off AL.com. It says they're going to be building it's going to be a 26,000 square foot facility, contain 12,000 square feet of trampolines.
Injury.
And don't forget the county tournament starts. Coming up, 12 high school basketball teams will battle for tournament.
All right.
County started Monday, January 20th at Elkmont High School. The tournament will open 2 games Monday and conclude Saturday, the 25th. Maybe we can talk about that later this week. But anyway, I just wanted to get that in. But anyway, I want to talk about Dusty for a second. Dusty did this thing Sunday at church, and I asked him with his permission I could use this.
It's funny.
Top 10 reasons you know that the sermon is going to be long.
They're funny reasons, too.
Yeah, pretty good reasons, too. So let's go to that right now from down at Lindsay Lane this past Sunday. We'll be back just a second. Y'all hang on.
Last Sunday, I made a statement about New Year's resolutions, and I told you about a New Year's resolution that I had a thought about, and that was in making my message a little shorter. Somewhat. Emphasis on somewhat, all right? And so that's kind of a resolution I had. And So my staff got together and said, well, we don't know about that, but we kind of want to help you in this resolutions. So we came up with the 10 signs that you are in for a long sermon. All right? Here's the 10 ways or the 10 signs that you know, and you can prepare yourself, 10 signs that you know you're in for a long sermon. Number 10, Dwayne's going to help us with that one. Number 10.
The choir loft is furnished with lazy boy recliners.
You know you're in for a long sermon, all right? Number 9, Brother Sonny will help us.
When you look at the back of the pew and you see camper hookups.
There's a few back there, I'm sure. Number 8, Brother Randy.
When the preacher brings a sack lunch into the pulpit.
You know you're in for a long sermon. And then number 7, Josh is getting on board.
When the church bulletin has a pizza delivery menu insert in it, you're in for a long.
Amen. Number 6, Alan.
When the preacher stops and then announces he's just breaking for intermission.
That's called two-parters, all right? And then number 5, Janet got in on the action.
When the preacher wheels in his sermon notes in a filing cabinet.
That's going to be a long one, isn't it? Number 5, number 4, and Andy
When
John.
the preacher says he'll have you out in time to watch the Super Bowl, but it's only October, there's a good chance it's going to be a long sermon.
Amen. And even Eric, mild Eric, got in on it on number 3.
When you see not a bottle, but a case of bottled water on the pulpit.
You're in for a long sermon. And then good old Brother Bradley got in on the action.
When the pastor preaches his annual stewardship series and the previous week's offering was very low, you're in for a long sermon.
Amen. And last but not least, number 10, when the preacher brings an hourglass to measure his sermon, you're in for a long sermon. By the way, this is an hour glass. It really is. So we'll see how I do today, all right?
Dusty may be back up here with us on Wednesday talking about a men's conference they're going to be having along with Tim Anderson out at Clements. I think that's coming up February the first Friday.
5th or 7th.
Whatever that is, that
Probably
first
5th.
Friday is. And don't forget, let me do a little bit
Wednesday night, they're going to have a movie.
showing a movie. Dusty may be with us Wednesday, but qualifying season begins. So all you politicians out there, I think now you've got 2 weeks to qualify for everything. I will keep y'all posted on who's going to be running for what. And we'll have some of those people up here on the next several months as they get ready for that. The county honored its top teachers. This is out of the News Courier this morning. 2 county teachers recently named from the Board of Education. East Limestone High School history teacher Michael Kavner and Blue Springs Elementary School Holly Moore represent Athens in the district there. So, and the legislators get back in session today. Dan Williams, Arthur, and all that bunch, and they hope for a non-controversial session, which we'll see how that goes on that. So we'll keep y'all, and we'll talk more about that meth thing. I've got an interesting article out of the News Courier too about that. Makes a lot of sense on there. Plus a lot of other things going on. If y'all need us for anything, let us know. Your church got something going on. All you got to do is contact us, ZTV at
ZTV@JamieCooper.com.
or hit me up on my iPad. That's the best way to get me. CountryRover@gmail.com gets me each and every time. So we got a lot of stuff going on this week. Getting back in action. I'm going to try to do my first full week of 2014. Gloria will celebrate her 15th year full-time prank in the TV business April 1st. And I'll celebrate a few more than that, but we'll keep y'all going on that too. Got to get out here on this Tuesday morning. Going to be an absolutely glorious day today. Get out and enjoy it. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Be careful.